Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshulamitanjena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Yam pravajantam anapeta apeta kritam rapayano viraha katara ajuhava muteti tan maitaya tadavo vinedus tam sarvabhutam hridayamunimanatosmi Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam Devim Saraswatam Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Bhaktya Vihina Padara Lakshay Kiptascha Kamari Tarangamadye Kripa Maitram Sharanam Prapanna Brinde Namaste Charanada Vindam Tave Vasmi Najivami Tvaya Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tvam Nayanam Charanandike Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So, we begin, as always, by offering our most humble obeisance unto the lotus feet of our beloved Gurus, unto Sri Guru Pada Padma, Nityalila Pavishta, Om Vishnupad, Asta Tarsat Sri Simad, Abhaya Charanadavinda Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Rajshila Prabhupada, and unto Sri Guru Pada Padma Nityalila Pavishta, Om Vishnupad, Asta Tarsat Sri Simad, Bhakti Vedanta, Narayan Goswami Raj, and unto all of our exalted Rupanuga Guru Varga, and the assembled Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis. So, yesterday we completed hearing the 22nd chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam about Krishna stealing the clothing of the young Gopis, and with commentary by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So now we're going to do Gopal Campu, written by Srila Jiva Gosvami. This is a version translated by my godbrother, Sripad Bhanu Maharaj, and in Gopal Campu it's chapter 21. Chapter is a little bit differently ordered in Gopal Campu, because Jiva Goswami is explaining that in the Bhagavatam the pastimes that are listed are not always exactly chronological, because sometimes Shukadev Goswami would be in a particular deeply meditate. Oh, he's always deeply meditating. But his mood of tasting the Leela would carry him from one Leela to the next, and it may not have happened sequentially, but the mood of the Leela was the same, and so he would do like that. Anyway, now Snigdhakant is speaking, and he's speaking in the evening. This is a pastime that he's only going to relate to the Sakis, Srimati Radhika, her group, and others, because this is not in the mood or appropriate for those in Sakya-ras or Vatsalya-ras to hear, right? So he's speaking in the evening. So he begins like this. After Garga, that means Garga Muni, Garga Rishi, right? Performed the sanskars for Krishna and Balaram, thus delineating their status, many young girls, being very fortunate, were born in Braj in various families, and by their nature developed desires for Krishna alone from the time they were small children. Kumaras, right? This should be described. Okay. So that means these gopis are a little younger than Krishna, right? When they had developed an inclination that Krishna would be their husband, they were ignorant of a method. The gopis, having beauty like the moon, grew thin like the waning moon because of their inclination to Krishna and because of their great sorrow. What sorrow? Their deepest desire not yet fulfilled, right? So this is a beautiful thing, though, because this unfulfilled spiritual desire actually just increases meditation on Krishna, increases their hankering. It's a accelerator for their prema, right? So, when alone, they would pray to various devatas for attaining Krishna. They wandered about with no aim. Right, how could they have an aim unless they're serving Krishna? What is the purpose of their life, right? This is the example of even these tender little gopis is an inspiration for us. If we don't have a genuine connection with Guru and Krishna, vibrant, something that we can feel, then what is our aim? What is our purpose, right? They prayed, "May we live in the house of Nanda and Yashoda, and may they be our father-in-law and mother-in-law. May Krishna be our husband, birth after birth." Now you could ask, why are they praying like that? We thought that in Vrindavan, Parakya Ras was the topmost mood and sentiment, and yet they're praying to have Krishna as their husband. Is this inappropriate? Is this kind of not consistent? What's Jiva Gosvami doing? Well, one thing he's doing is accommodating those who are not really capable of comprehending Parakya as the topmost platform, right? So he does give descriptions which accommodate and glorify Svakya, even in the moods of the gopis. But on the other hand, it's described, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur described that at this point, they're not married to anyone yet. So it's appropriate and not opposed to Parakya that they want Krishna as their husband, right? And remember, at one point, they were saying, we want Krishna as our husband, but even if he's not our husband, if we have some other husband, still we want Krishna. Right? So it's pastime. It's an evolution of this thought. They want Krishna as their only beloved, and at this point, being a husband, that's not inconsistent with that. One day, the young girls met together and went to the bank of the Jamuna. This was suitable. Though many students study under one guru, their goal is one, and they gather at one place. The girls of various births, being friends, gather together in one place with the same goal. When they gathered together, their sentiments became one. Though born in various places, they all had affection for Krishna. Just as when thick clouds gather together, there is rain. So actually, their gathering together reinforced their conviction, their commitment, and gave them confidence, right? It's like a singular cloud, what can it do? But when many clouds are drawn together, the force combined allows them to actually produce rain. And so now, their love for Krishna, their opportunity to fulfill their desire, it's being reaffirmed by this group association. There is no question that Krishna should have only one wife. That's not the problem. Yeah, you can be his husband. His wife. You can be his wife. We all want to be his wife. No problem. When they gathered together, their sentiments became one. Though born in various places, they all had affection for Krishna, just as when thick clouds gather together, there is rain. Though sometimes they were unfriendly to each other, now they showed great friendship, because though they hid their hearts when among their elders, they revealed their hearts to each other. How could they hide their hearts when they met together? Why would they be unfriendly? Well, that's because not unfriendly in the mundane sense, but in the gopis, there are different camps under the direction of different Yuteshwaris, different leaders. And they serve Krishna with different moods, right? Left-wing mood, right-wing mood, and various combinations. And this is described in detail in Jiva Dharma. Actually, it's when, every time I listen to it, I'm just so incapable of absorbing it and grasping it. But there are 360 different moods that gopis different kinds of gopis, and each gopi has a very specific and different kind of mood than the other gopis. It all comes from Radhika, who is the repository of all moods of service, and she expands herself in different ways in order to give Krishna special tastes. And so all these gopis, they are reflective of these different moods, and so sometimes they're in competition with each other. So when it says they get angry or even hate each other, it just means that they're striving to please Krishna in specific ways. But now they all have the same goal, and so they're very happy together. So when they revealed their hearts to each other, tears flowed from their eyes and their bodies fainted. Observing them and desiring their happiness, Vrinda approached them, wearing the cloth of a mendicant. Okay, so now Vrinda Devi. Vrinda Devi is a special expansion of Yogamaya, who has the special arrangement of serving those devotees in this Shringar Ras. It's under Vrinda's direction that all the kunjas and all the places in the forest where the beautiful Vraja Devis go are filled with the ingredients for their service to Krishna. It's under Vrinda that so many of the messengers, the duties, perform their function of arranging meeting of Radha and Krishna. It's under Vrinda, with assistance from Purnamasi, that the forest arranges itself appropriate for each of the leelas in any given day, at any given time where Krishna is going to be, right? So she's seeing this, and now she's going to help them. So earlier, Vrinda had thought, all these young girls have attraction to meet Krishna, but they cannot express this. Attraction arises from conventional affection and becomes strong when it awakens. They should worship a devata and not worship him. Okay, so they need some means, right, to get some assistance. So she was welcomed and blessed them. After the formalities, she began to speak. O young girls, I live in this forest. Seeing your attraction for Krishna, I have come with a heart laden with compassion. I have a method for achieving your goals. Please hear about it carefully. You can accomplish this without great endeavor, but you must practice with a little endeavor for 1 month. I have mastered that compassionate, magical method endowed with mantras. Just as one places the niti gem in a particular place, Vrinda placed the mantra in the ears of the girls, taught them the method of worship, and feeling satisfied within, disappeared. Attached to her teachings, the girls became absorbed in the highest bliss. So it's she that's giving them the guidance of how to worship Katyayani, goddess Katyayani, this special form of Durga, Yogamaya. Right? The greatness of profuse rag assisted all of them constantly, and they had attained a method for fulfilling their desires. What is rag? Rag is the complete focus and attachment, singular attachment for the object of one's love. So this is filling the hearts of these young girls, who is the focus of their love, obviously, Sri Krishna. So they have the means to achieve what they're desiring, so now they're very happy. Thus, they experienced pure bliss, the supreme Vaishnavi Shakti, most worshipable was their guru for anurag. The best of mantras would fulfill their desires. What other happiness could they desire? Vaishnavi Shakti. See, everything is personified. Consciousness is all coming from individuals. So the Shakti, which empowers, enlivens, emboldens, and fills them with the bliss of their seva, Vaishnavi Shakti. The young girls began the vow on the first day of Agrahayana month with a sankalpa, a very determined vow. Leaving their houses together 4 dandas before sunrise, they went to the bank of the Jamuna while holding hands and singing. While going, they joked and revealed their intentions. O friend, the form of all auspiciousness, wearing a garland and endowed with the best qualities, will marry you. Nanda, pleased with this, is spreading the joyful news. Now, even here, they're talking a little indirectly. They're not talking about themselves. They're saying, oh, my friend, soon the son of Nanda will marry you. And his father is going to tell everyone this joyful news. All right? On hearing the news, your mother and father become joyful and distribute wealth. Hiding his joy within, Krishna will make you angry with joking words sent through friends. So now they're actually living this in their hearts, right? Envisioning this. After the matchmaker decides the auspicious day, Krishna will don new cloth for his wedding. His dark complexion, mixing with the gold color of his cloth, is like the cloud with lightning bolts, the basis of all beauty. Oh, now they're meditating on how beautiful Krishna is. At the end of this, there is a description when Krishna returns to Vrindavan after finally having killed all the demons, and there is a wedding ceremony. And it's described very much like this. Because there is a place in Goloka Vrindavan where Swakya exists, right? So, he has a yellow vest which sparkles with various colors. He wears a crown, head ornaments, and turban, and has jewels in his locks of hair. He wears tilak. Yeah, so you can put a little crown on top of a turban, right? Wearing a yellow vest, sparkling with various colors, head ornaments, jewels in his hair. He's wearing tilak. Earrings decorate his cheeks. His lips become reddened with betel nut. And he covers his lips with a cloth held in his hand. He has a necklace on his throat. He has armlets, bracelets, and rings on his fingers, and a colored thread on his wrist. On his heart are a necklace and the kostuba. He wears many garlands. He has a shining belt with jewels on his waist and ornaments on his feet. No one has ever seen such remarkable dressing. He is the ornament for all those ornaments and limbs. Such pride is acceptable. The people watched him arrive on a jeweled cart surrounded by friends. They shower him with flowers while he sits on the cart, and they sing songs. He is pleased with the sound of the cart and hundreds of instruments. Right, so when the groom is going to the house of the bride, he's on this cart, sometimes chariot. They're cowherd people, but very beautifully decorated, right? And the whole path is lined with admirers and well-wishers, and there are musicians, right, playing music, and Brahmins are chanting hymns. It's such a festival. Oh, friend, on hearing the tumultuous sounds of the marriage, your heart will become agitated. Oh, friend, when he arrives at your door, you faint in bliss. This is all in their heart now. They're all seeing this in their mind's eye. They're so joyful. Now, again, it's not like a mundane marriage, Right? Mundane marriages can also be very opulent. If you've ever seen films of what marriages can be like in India, where they come in on elephants and horses and all this same kind of stuff. But remember the story of Ramachandra Kaviraj when he was in his wedding procession, and he came by the place of Srinivas, who was there with Narottam Das Thakur, and the wedding party stopped at their place, and these Jews were sitting under a beautiful tree. And when they saw Ramachandra Kaviraj get out of the chariot, he had a garland on, a very beautiful garland, surrounded by all these things we're hearing here because it came from a high-class, wealthy family. And they said, oh, look, he has this garland around his neck. He thinks it's the garland of auspiciousness, but actually it's a snake. It's like a black snake, and it's like poison because this happiness of marriage produces such attachment. You're bound to the cycle of samsara. He's tasting this temporary happiness, but he doesn't know the result. And they were looking on him with great compassion. And somehow or other, he saw these two extraordinarily saintly persons, was attracted to them, saw them talking very seriously, and he went over and asked them, what are you talking about? And they began to speak to him. And they told him this beautiful tattva and, the alternative. And as inconceivable as it would be, he just gave up everything. He gave up the marriage, gave up everything. Right there, the party, the family of the bride, the family of his family, the social pressure in India, it's just unimaginable. In the midst of that celebration, he just walked away from it and became the associate of Narottam Srinivas, very dear, dear friend of Narottam Das Thakur. Could we do that? But this marriage, this is totally different. This is all auspicious. This is all beautiful, but not to be compared to the other. So, oh friends, there's one girl singing to another. And praising this girl's fortune, she's tasting it as well, because it's spoken in a mood of pure love. Pure love for Krishna, pure love for all those who will make Krishna happy. Remember, their desire for marriage, because they're gopis, is to make Krishna happy. Their happiness is barely a consideration. It seems like it is, but they're driven by the desire to please Krishna. Their hearts are devoid of separate interest, right? And so, speaking of this, they're so happy. Oh, this beautiful Saki is going to be married to Krishna and give him such happiness. Right? And by that, they're tasting that same service. Oh, friend, your relatives will approach the groom, and women with red lips will sing. The instrumentalist will approach the groom, and the songs will be loud. The women will approach, perform arti, and sprinkle flowers. Oh, beautiful girl, when Krishna comes to the pavilion, your happiness will increase. Beautiful girl, after Nanda and others have been worshipped, there will be much joking. Having followed the preliminary rules, they will bring you to Krishna along with many gems. Right, it's part of the wedding ceremony that the groom honors the father of the bride. They honor each other, actually. When done Vedically, it's a very solemn, joyful but solemn ceremony. Many social agreements are made there, very binding, right? They will bring you whose limbs are weak because of love in front of him. Your father will take your weak hand and join it with Krishna's hand using water. That's what you do. I've done a lot of weddings in Badger. I've performed a lot of weddings. It's not usually something you do. It's sannyasi, generally a Brahma, but all these people that ask, I've known them, for a long time, and, you just do it. Gurudev did some weddings, Prabhupada did some weddings, and so it helps them, So, beautiful faced girl. No one will understand your great happiness. What more can I say? I see that he has accepted your attractive hand. Coming to the Jamuna, quickly finishing their songs. Now they've imagined all this. They're walking down there. This is why we're doing the Vrat, right? And they're just absorbed in that thought. Now, coming to the Jamuna, quickly finishing their songs, they shed their garments on the bank of the river in the early morning with childish flurry, and coming together, submerged themselves in the water. Because they wore silk, that cloth was not rejected, even though it was not washed again. They put on the cloth, made a worshipable deity of Katyayani out of sand, chanted mantras, and returned to their houses. Right? For 1 month, they performed this vow. On the last day, when the vow was to be completed, in great bliss, they went to the bank of the Jamuna and played in the water for a few moments without bashfulness, since the place was isolated and far off from habitation. Understanding what they were doing for a month, Krishna took 4 young boys with him and went there secretly, watching them while offering his heart to them. So now Krishna has been drawn by their devotion. This is the time. Now he's come and he's offering his heart in reciprocation. They've given their everything to him. He's giving their everything to them. The wise understand that Dham, Sudam, Vasudam, and Kinkini are the external manifestations of Krishna's mind, intelligence, chitta, and ahankara. Chitta, in our experience, chitta is a subtle, it's like the soul, right? Subtle form of the soul. And ahankara is self-identification. Krishna doesn't have false ego, or subtle. It's all one. At the same time, these are manifestations of particular qualities of his. When they turned 5 years old, they received a shower of prema from Krishna every day and became joyful in association of others their same age. They went along with him, asking, "Where are we going?" So in the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says that they were only maybe 2 or 3 years old, toddlers. Here they're 5, but even at the age of 5, they're innocent, right? They're not capable of discerning, that these are naked girls and that there should be some problem. They're just kind of all caught up in this pastime with their dear friend Krishna, who's older. There are different ages of the Gopas, and there are groups of Gopas that are younger than him, and they have special relationships, so he's bringing them for this pastime. Clever Krishna, taking company of the 4 boys, arrived at the Jamuna and signaled them to stop laughing with a gesture of his hand. So like a predator, right? He's sneaking up on them, and he's signaling with his hand, okay, shh, 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 like a hunter, be quiet. Bending down, while the girls could not see, he stole their clothing. So he's bending down, sneaking over to where their clothes were on the bank, quickly snatching it up. Taking the clothes, he quickly climbed in a kadamba tree and began laughing along with the boys. Hearing the laughing, the young girls all together looked up in fear. Hearing the deep-throated laugh, whose supreme excellence is appreciated by others around him, the girls glanced at each other. Not seeing their clothing where they left it, they submerged their bodies in the water up to their necks, appearing like lotuses. So now they're quite afraid. Who is it? Where have our clothes gone? Who's laughing? Who's looking at us? And so only their heads are showing. The faces of the girls could not be mistaken for lotuses, since they derided the forest of lotuses, for no lotus blossomed in the winter season. So for 2 reasons. 1, lotuses don't appear at that time. For the second reason, their faces are more beautiful than any lotus. Right? They're compared to lotuses for poetic purposes, but actually the lotus mimics the beauty of these beautiful gopis. The girls remained with downcast eyes for some time in the water. They wouldn't even look now. They then glanced at the Kadamba tree when the chill became intense. Previously, Krishna hid himself behind the branches, but now he made himself visible. So now they couldn't look down. They were so ashamed. Finally, they're getting colder and colder, looking up again. Where are our clothing? They looked to that tree. Now Krishna's appeared before them. Krishna's glance at the faces of the girls with their bodies submerged in water was like a bee within a lotus. The girls gazed at Krishna just as a chatak bird gazes at a cloud. So, on the one hand, they're mortified and embarrassed. On the other, there is the object of our vrat, the one whom we've been praying about for this entire month, who we can never stop thinking about. Look, he's there in that tree. So they're overjoyed, they're thrilled, but all the mixed emotions are pouring through their heart right now. And the young boys laugh loudly, and then the young girls become angry. The boys said, "Stealing your clothes will become respected in Braj." Well, Krishna's done it, right? It has to be glorified and admired. Our friend Krishna, look what a clever thing he's done. They don't know the full implications of all this. They can't know. This is a deep exchange on the platform of Shringar Ras. But they're there to assist it. They're taunting on behalf of Krishna. And so with Krishna giving them constant instructions, the young boys spoke. So they're a tool for Krishna. First they said, "We do not know at all whether our action is permissible or not, but we came to teach you since we have understood our lessons." Hey, Krishna's telling us to do this. We don't fully understand it, but we know there's something important here, right? And we have to tell you this. Looking at each other with shame, the girls said, "You have learned well from some teacher. Please practice teaching in Braj to gain the respect of your teacher. Go preach somewhere else. Don't teach here. Go back to, Vrindavan." Again, the boys, on being instructed by Krishna, spoke. "Oh, we don't know why you are scolding us. You are aquatic beings, and we reside in the trees. You're not fit to teach us. We're like from a different dynasty. You talk among yourselves. Don't tell us what's right and wrong. We're taking instruction from Krishna." The girls said, "One should criticize the acts of you thieves sitting on the edges of the tree's branches. Since our clothes have been stolen, we are suffering from being submerged in the water. Doesn't matter who you claim to be. You've stolen our clothes. You're thieves. You deserve to be chastised and instructed." Then Krishna himself spoke with feigned anger and astonishment. "What did we steal from you?" Oh, okay. Once again, Krishna's proving himself to be not only a thief, but a liar, right? Even though it's obvious the clothes were there, now they're with him. The clothes are in the tree, he's in the tree, and he's faking surprise, astonishment. What? What did I steal? And the girls say, "We are many. Why are you trying to hide our clothing with great difficulty?" Now what's going on is that within the context of these Sanskrit verses, these different words, clothing, ambara, has many different meanings, and Krishna's taking it to mean sky. Krishna said, so clothing covers you, right? So Krishna says, well, you are certainly covered by the sky. Why are you saying that I have stolen the sky? Right? And they said, "Oh, Damodar, you have the power to make cloth, ambara, become sky, ambara. How much bravery will you gain by stealing in this isolated place?" So this is one of the things that Krishna and the Gopis do. They speak like the Brahmins, remember in Mahaprabhu's Leela, the Brahmin boys take great pleasure in arguing, debating, using the rules of logic to twist and create all these obtuse and difficult to refute arguments. And a lot of it is based on wordplay and multiple meanings for the same word. And they often say, yes, by my logic and strong arguments, I can turn a clay pot into cloth and back again, right? And so this is what's going on with them. They're arguing in this very clever way. So this is going to go on. This is the introduction to that. And I'm going to stop here because then we're going to get a whole sequence of arguments, which is going to serve to increase the joy of both Krishna and the Gopis, and increase their love, and increase their, especially the Gopis, their frustration, right? And it's going to reveal the last obstacle to their complete and pure love, which is their embarrassment and shyness. And Krishna is doing this whole pastime to show how it's a glorious quality and it exists in them in a more pure and better way than anyone. But even that can be given up, must be given up, to show the highest expression of faith and love for Krishna. Ultimately, whatever he wants, we will do. Right? We'll give up everything, even our reputation, even our chastity, the highest ornaments of a woman in Vedic culture. Okay, so we'll stop here, offering our obeisance to Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev, Sambhava Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, Gaur Prema Nande, Hari Hari Bo.